Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching me from. I am Madam Udelza Cynthia Ifoma, your favorite English language teacher, always here to simplify English and make the learning of English very simple. Yeah, I got you with all your problems in English language. And today, before I go into the lesson, I'm going to do the correction of the previous exercises I gave you in order to continue learning. Don't forget, if you have not watched the previous video, I encourage you to just go back there, click on it and try to watch the video, get the lesson and see what it's all about so that you can be on the same page with every other person. Thank you. Straight to the board. Let's see, what did I give you? I said, underline the nouns and replace them with the appropriate pronouns. We've done the noun, we've dealt with the pronouns, and I gave some exercises. Now, when you look at the number one, I said the lesson is interesting. Of course, the only noun here is the lesson. And for us to replace it, it is a neuter gender. We're not going to say he, neither are we going to say she. Therefore, we say it. And we come to Anthony. Anthony, number two. Anthony is dark. Anthony is always a name given to a masculine gender. So to replace this, we say he. He is dark. Remember, I said pronoun is a professional noun. It's an expert in what it does. Instead of boredom, instead of unnecessary repetition, you can always use a pronoun to replace a noun. Therefore, what is a pronoun? That word that is capable of replacing any noun in a sentence. We go to number three. This is a noun. Samuel and Annie are siblings. If we want to replace Samuel and Annie, what do? We are simply going to use they as the professional a pronoun is. So we say they are siblings. And we want to replace number four, Sylvia. I've always known Sylvia to be a feminine name. So instead of saying Sylvia is tall, if we want to replace Sylvia with the appropriate pronoun, we are going to say she, which is the feminine gender. I hope you got all. You smashed it, right? If you've got all, that means you need to score yourself 4 on 4. Wow, who did that? Bravo! If you were able to smash all of them, you have 4. Beautiful. Quickly into today's lesson. Alright, before I delve into today's lesson, I want to encourage you, if you're right here, you are the right place, where English learning is made simple. Okay. Quickly to today's lesson, I want to go extensively to the lesson I've already handled on pronouns. I want to look at the use of pronouns. Sometimes people are confused on which of the pronouns to use, when to use them, where to use them. And that is why I'm here, to make it simple and get you at the right track. Thank you. Hope you're watching. Today, I want to classify the personal pronouns as subject pronouns and object pronouns. When I say subject, I mean the doer of the action in a sentence. What does that mean? There are pronouns that can be used as the doer of the actions in a sentence. And there are pronouns that cannot be the doer of the action, but would always take the object position in a sentence. And that is what you need to know. When you know these things, you'll be able to use your pronoun appropriately. Did you get me? Let's go there. When you look at subject pronoun, I said I. And when it is a subject pronoun, I under the object becomes me. Object is the receiver of the action done by the subject. When a subject does the action, there must be a receiver. That receiver is what we call the object of the sentence. And this receiver cannot be the same person or pronouns use in the subject. So I under the object becomes me, he becomes him, she becomes her, you becomes you. You and it are the only pronouns that maintain itself, whether as the subject or as the object. You becomes you, whether as object or as subject. And it becomes it, whether as object or as subject. And they becomes them, while we becomes us. I give some examples to clarify those things or clarify this claim. I am with him. Him is the object. The person talked about is I. And that person talked about is what we call the subject. The subject would always remain the subject. And when you want to use the object, make sure you're using the right form of the object. You wouldn't have said, I am with he. Wrong. Because he is always the doer of the action. I don't know if you're getting me, right? Okay. While him is always the receiver of the action. He gave me some books. He is the doer of the action in this case. Correct. He was the one, the actor. Remember I said the subject is the doer of the action in a sentence. And the doer of the action cannot be used as the receiver of the action. Neither can the receiver of the action be used as the doer of the action. And if you dare do that, that would be grammatical blunder. It would be like taking a round peg to a square hole or taking a square peg to a round hole. It cannot fit in. Alright, she gave her a gift. She is the actor, the doer of the action, and the receiver is her. You can never use this as the doer of the action. It can never be her gave her. No, it doesn't work. That is grammatical blunder. Who does that? Nobody. Okay, you are with it. You and it are the two pronouns that can be used interchangeably, whether as the subject position or at the object position. They remain the same in its form. They are with them. They is the actor, as the subject would always say they, and them is always the receiver of the action. You are with us. You can be used as subject as well as the object. So you here is the actor and us is the receiver. You wouldn't have said us are with you. No, because it can never be used as the subject. It can only be the receiver of the action. It's just like men and women. Men will always buy gifts for their women, and women will always receive. We'll keep receiving. We are receivers, good receivers in everything you can ever imagine. We are always at the receiving end. Can you think about it? Yes, but men would always give. That is how it is in pronoun. These are the givers. These are the actors. These are the doer of the action in a sentence. That is what we call subject. And the receiver of the action done by the subject is known as the object. Is that clear? Alright, in today's episode, I won't be too long. I said it is with it. Remember I told you that it is a neuter gender. And when we talk of neuter gender, we are talking of things that are inanimate, things that are not human, things that are neither he or she, neither masculine or feminine. We use it. Do you understand? For example, animals, trees, whether living or non-living, once it is not a masculine gender and not a feminine gender, that is a neuter gender. We use it for it. Things like cats, you could be talking about the cat. The cat is with it. Who is with the bone I kept here? The dog is with it. You don't want to say the dog, just like we did in a pronoun. You replace the dog with it. It is with it. What is the it signifying? Bone. Remember I told you that it and you can work as the subject as well as the object. Now that you've got it, today I'm going to give you two statements, and I will tell you one that is correct and tell you the one that you should never say, as people would always use them wrongly. Look up here. What is wrong with this statement? Me and you are going to school today. It's just like the illustration I gave. It's like taking the round peg to the square hole, or taking the square peg to the round hole. It will never fit in. Me is the object that always receives. It can never stand here as the actor. So when you say me and you are going to school today, just know that you are wrong. Very, very wrong. So what am I supposed to say? You and I are going to school today. Absolutely correct. This is correct, while this is wrong. I hope I've been able to teach someone somewhere out there something very vital today. So if you're part of those that have always expressed themselves by saying, me and you are going to the market today, me and you are going to school today, me and you are wrong. That's why I have to extensively go into the usage of pronoun, the use of pronoun. And the right thing to always say is you and I, because you is the actor, I is the actor, is the subject. It should always take the subject position. You cannot force me to become the subject. That will be taking a round peg to a square hole, and it can never fit in. Have I made myself clear? And for those that like this too much emphasis like, me, I am going to school. Oh, you don't need to put the me. Me, I am going to school. I'm going to school. That's too bad. Too bad. Very, very wrong. What kind of grammatical blunder is that? You don't need to add me before we know that you are the one talking. I am going to school, period. Me, I'm going, no. Me, I am going. You don't need to put the me before we know that you are the one going. I am going, correct. I shall leave you behind. Me, I shall leave you behind. No, wrong. I stands as the doer of the action in every sentence, and not me. Me does not act. Me can come in as the receiver. He was talking to me. He said he's going to leave me. Okay, I'm going to leave the lesson short and simple. It's just an extension of what we did previously. I just want to bring it closer. To your doorstep so that you understand how to use those pronouns and know the ones to use interchangeably. Remember, I told you it and you are used interchangeably, but every other one, they have its variance as the subject and as the object. Never use the object at the subject position, and don't use the subject as the object at the object position. I hope I've been able to teach someone somewhere out there something very vital in English language. See you in the next episode. Please don't miss out. If you miss any of my videos, I'm sorry. You might be struggling to follow. So what do you do to yourself? Endeavor to watch the previous video, subscribe to my channel, like, share, invite all other students of mine, anyone who is a second language learner of English language. If you're a second language learner in English language, of course, you are the one I'm talking to. You need to always be here at every time in order to watch my videos. Thank you. God bless you as you keep watching.